Hi everyone, I have been gifted this beautiful book called Little Worlds by Gabi Wolf. I think this might be a series of Gabi's. I have also had the Mini Mania 1 book. This doesn't have a number, but I'm wondering if it's number 1 and if there are more, just because I'm new to Gabi Wolf. So those of you who aren't will know. But anyway, this is the Little Worlds colouring book. Now, lovely Becky sent this to me, so thank you, Becky. It looks delightful. I haven't properly looked at it. I thought I would wait and look at it with you. So it is Amazon printed. It's a UK Amazon. So if you buy it yourself, how the paper is will depend on the where it's printed. And I do find Amazon printed books, the paper isn't always consistent, but it's okay. It's a little, I find it perfectly fine, and I think it can depend on the pencils and your preferences, that sort of thing. It's not as thick as a Hannah Carlson book, for example, excuse me, but they're usually single-sided. This is, so that means that you can use pens and things like that if that's what you want. But let's dig in. So here is the very first page. We have two little insects on our first page. Ladybird beetle, maybe. And here is our first little bit. And you can see the pages are quite see-through. You can see through to the next part of the design, but for me that's not a problem. So we've got some information here telling us that Gabi Wolf, that's at, and then we've got different saying she's on Facebook and YouTube and things like that. And it's a 2025 book, so this probably isn't a part of the series, but it might be. So this is new. Oh, that's very exciting. So some of you, not many of you, may have this one. So you have this gorgeous little line of toadstools. I just love colouring mushrooms and toadstools. These are just delightful. And then we have more here. And this is a very pretty little motif at the beginning. And then we have a little intro. This book is not just a colouring book. It is an adventure journey full of magical little worlds waiting for you to bring them to life with colour. Discover enchanted places, magical houses and forgotten worlds. In this book, 30 lovingly hand-drawn colouring worlds await you to explore and discover. Let your creativity flow and start your own colouring journey through the world of colour. So this house here is fun. Can you see it's got an upside down teacup for a roof? I love it. We have very pretty border and a picture of a pencil. And here are tips on colouring. I'm going to skim read them and summarise them for you. So it says put some paper behind the pages. If you're using felt pens or watercolours, check them at the back first and make sure it doesn't, or else it might go through the paper. It says crayons are good and you can layer, and it's one-sided, so you can cut the pictures out and hang them if you want to. Yes, I am a quick reader. Oh, this is very sweet. So we've got a lovely border with florals and a house inside. We don't have anything. I was wondering if all the houses would be a bit quirky, but this one isn't really. But I really like it. I like Gabi's style. It's very clean, neat, not too small, not too big. You know, it's really nice. Now this is more quirky. Can we see? So we've got a pen. So this is a pen with a lid. And this is a fountain pen with the nib, a paintbrush for this one, and then another pen. So we've got that's really interesting. And lovely flowers. And this one is a little wagon. I think that's what I would call it. I don't know what else to call it really. A little wagon with, it's got a tree house in it. That's so imaginative. I would never think of something like that. Oh, we have a shelf design. I'm very Agatha Pop. All sorts of things going on. So we have quite a selection of houses on the shelves here. So the first, sorry, my nose is running. We have a flower pot house, and then just a little house. We have books and apples and a vase and a candle. Then we have a watering can and cup and container, a bottle, a plant pot house, another container and a flowers in a vase, a cake, cherries on. Another house with a bush, flowers in a vase, little pill pot, I'm guessing, plates, a sort of storage jar, canister. And then hanging on here we have florals, picture of a bee, 2 cups and 2 butterflies. It's lovely, really pretty. Now here we have 6 separate designs, all with insects. It's not really a house type thing, but that's nice if you want a break from doing houses. These are the 2 from the front, I think, that I pointed out to you. And we have lovely flowers and things. And this is quite an interesting opportunity to do a little background if you are a little bit nervous about doing backgrounds. You know, there's just a little bit of space there. Now this house, again, to me looks quite conventional. Excuse me, we have some bunting, no, little flags, mushrooms. There's lots of little details which are fun in there. And here we have 4 houses, all lovely mushroom houses, little front gardens on sort of on little humps of grass. So they're all quite similar in a way, but not. So you could do them all really similar colours or choose some really different. Look at the socks. Now this is a key, can you see? So the house is sitting on a key and we have flowers growing upside down. It's a really interesting idea, really interesting. Now this is lots of teeny florals. So, you know, the opportunity to do just a small, sorry, I had to blow my nose. To give you a chance to have a look at all the different florals. There's lots of different, sorry, I just hit my microphone then. Lots of different types of flowers, shapes and sizes. Some of these are really quite small, but not, in my opinion, not too small. If the whole page was full of leaves that big, I think I would not be happy. But because we've got mainly big, a few small, I think that's manageable. And most of the picture is much bigger like this one. So this is a clock. We can see the weights and the pendulum. How that's going to tip with those. Anyway. But we've got these. You could colour them as if they're carved of wood. I think that's lovely. I do like a clock. Now we have a series of 9. So all these are like jars or bottles. This looks like perfume. This is like a jam jar maybe. I don't know, this one's got a cork. So they're interesting. I've actually just put together a playlist on my YouTube of all my videos that are either jars or bottles, because I know some people want help with those. So if you want those, you look in my playlists or ask me for the link, because it's sometimes easier to do it that way and I don't mind. So here we have, it's like a little tub. I'm not sure what it is, just a little tub or flower pot or something with a house in. Now we just have 2 really interesting structures. Imagine living in this house, trying to find your way. You get up there, you go down there, you go around there, up there. It's just really complicated. I get lost. I would. I've been on holiday before to a house and it was so big. It wasn't really big. It was just the layout, because it was all on one floor. The layout was quite big, if you know what I mean. I kept getting lost. I kept forgetting which doorway went to the kitchen and which one went to the sitting room. Bonkers. Anyway, I was young-ish. Teenager, not that young. Right, this one, I love this floral border. It's really pretty. And then we have this little, what looks like a brick house, but with a flower roof. It's adorable. Now this one, little circle, each with toadstool house in, or 2. And look, we've got little details on the borders like that. It's got a little flower. This one's got a bee, we've got a butterfly. This one's just got a few leaves popping out. We've got a little ladybird here and some stars. I love that. Just that extra little detail. And here are our teapot houses. And again, these have got little details. You've got a little bow there and I guess a light. And then this one's got a little snail. And we've got a flag on this one and some bunting. So just a little extra imaginative touch. Now we have tree houses. And these all differ. The styles of the trees are very different. So we've got a big bushy tree with something. I'm not sure. Birdhouse, mailbox, light. I'm going to go with mailbox. Then we have one with more leaves in. rocks and things, and this one's got stars hanging from it and just little leaves. This is a tree of flowers. It's got a little extension, and this one is just quite a plainer tree, and then this one's got a little something hanging, a little flag or something, and lamps. Now we have, this is the one from the front. I might copy those colours. Sometimes I don't know what colour to colour buildings, but I've started to get a sort of colour that I really like for buildings, which I'm probably using too much, but I enjoy it. Sort of a bit like this actually, a sort of Naples yellow with on the edges like a Venetian red. It's similar to that. But anyway, I might copy the front to do that one, just so it's... I love the names of these books. So we've got Where Gnomes Live, Fabulous Fable Book. Oh, sorry, I whacked the microphone then. Small Gnomes, Big Heart, and Feeding Fairies Made Easy. Now we have bottles, houses in bottles, or jars. These two are jars, I think. We just have two quite square houses side by side. I like their neatness. Square house, nice and neat, orderly, tidy, till I colour it, then it'll be a mess. And then we have a whole bottle with a house inside, or the magic. 4 shelves. So this one's got books, it says lexicon and a vase, and then this one has a little box with a cup and what, a boat. And here's just a sort of pot. I think that's a flower pot house. This looks like a potty. And then we have like a jar and a bottle. It says cookies. Oh, a castle. Look at that. It's very elegant. Flags and stars. It reminds me of a castle at Vegas, one of the hotels. It's Excalibur. I wonder if it still exists. It's a long time since I went to Vegas. This one's very neat. I like the border. Now the last book of Gabi Wolf's I flipped through, Mini Mania 1, the pictures repeated halfway through and were printed lighter. But this one hasn't done that. We've got lots more, I guess, better value because you've got more pictures. And because some of them are mini, you could say this was 4. Although they all sort of match here. But you can do one at a time or whatever you want to do. I'm looking at these backgrounds going, oh, sunset. This one is got such an interesting border with all this vine and flowers and things. I think the border is more fun than the house on this one for me. Although I think the mushrooms and the flowers, it's lovely. Oh, this is interesting. So this is mainly florals, but we've just got a little house motif in the centre. Now here we have 6 separate designs. These could easily be a little series, couldn't they? I'm definitely going to do something from here. I'm not sure when. I've got a few things lined up, but we'll see. I've finished filming a page from Mini Mania, which will be coming out. I'm not sure when. It's this month. And 2 toadstool houses. Another teapot, kettle. I think that's a kettle. But there's no handle, there's just this. Oh, this is the handle. Can't pour a kettle with a handle like that. I couldn't, I need one here. I'm not very good. Oh, we have a colour test page. And another one. And another one. And then we have a picture at the back. There's Gabi. And we've now reached the end of the book. I hope you enjoyed the pictures and had a lot of fun colouring them. Please, needs an E, Gabi, have a look at my other colouring books. You can find information about them on the following pages on my website, Amazon, or on social media. And got a little house at the end. We've seen that one already somewhere. Ah, this is interesting. I'm going to look at this with you. So this is Mini Mania 1 that I've got. And there's a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5 and a 6. There's a flowers book, Tiny Town, a Christmas book. That's a cute and easy book. Those 3 are cute and easy. So I guess they're that new style of colouring that's very popular, the sort of simple designs. And I did think hers were quite simple like that. Not as simple, but and she's got a sea life one. And then Wonder Worlds, 1, 2, Houses, 1, 2, 3, a Daydreams, Mandalas. Oh, she's done a lot, hasn't she? Right, we're going to do some colouring in the book, but we're going to just do this front page, or maybe even just one. I'm just getting some paper, but hopefully my volume won't change so much because I'm wearing my microphone. So as I move around the room, it shouldn't make too much difference. I'm just, getting some paper to put behind the page, as instructed. There we go. Now I've got my Polychromos in here on the desk. I'm in the middle of another series, so I'm going to use those just because they happen to be here. It just makes it easier for me. So a beetle, I'm going to go for some caput mortuum. I don't use this colour enough, so let's go for it. I'm just going to go around the edge. I'm just going to see where the colour takes me. I was just thinking how some beetles are so beautifully coloured, sort of with reflective coloured backs, and I'm doing it in this dull colour, but I'm going to leave a bit like that and put in a bright colour and see whether I can lift it. I don't know why I went in with this dull colour. I just didn't think, but we'll get there. We'll transform it. So this is a sort of shadowy base, I guess. Now, this is quite similar to other UK Amazon paper. I'm emphasising the UK because I know quite a few of you in USA, and you will find that the paper there will be different to this. This is middle purple pink. I have in the past found that the USA Amazon paper is more toothy, meaning it's rougher to the feel, and it takes more layers of pencil to fill it up, sort of thing. So compared with the UK, but I can't say for sure that that is the case now, because I don't know how often they change their paper, you know, and you know, whether they change it up a bit. I'm trying gently now because I want to leave it quite light in the middle there, like that. That's better. So yes, so my opinion on the paper, if you're in the UK, might be relevant, but if you're not, might not be. Now, some people really loathe Amazon paper because it's not very thick, as you can see all the writing through it. But even with Johanna Basford's books, I can sometimes see a little bit of the writing through the page, you know. But it is a good way for little indie and self-publishers to have got their books seen, you know. Now I'm going to go with a lighter pink. I'm going to grab the light magenta. We're not going to cover over all of our beetle, but oops, gosh, my son is talking so loudly. It's nice to hear him chatting with his dad, because they often sit at breakfast in silence and don't really talk to each other, and it's lovely to hear them having a yap. I'm not sure what they're getting all excited about, but probably politics, or no, more likely computery things, AI or something like that. They both are involved in working in well, my son's student studying and my husband's working in it. I'm going back to the middle purple pink, and I'm going to do this arch here and just sort of fade it a bit in like that. And then the light magenta to spread it to the middle. There we go. And then these little petally shapes, I'm going to start with the caput mortuum. Drop my sharpener. Excuse me, caput mortuum. Just checking the time, it's upstate. I want to leave about 9:45, so I've got a while yet. Don't need to rush. And the zigzags. Like that. And then back to our middle purple pink to finish these off. Go right over the top of what you've done. With these I'm going to take it right to the edge. I was chatting to my son this morning about his driving lessons, trying to book him a driving test. It's tricky. You have to go onto the government website, put in all the details, and it will search for any tests. Apparently, I got on this morning. You're supposed to get on at 6 a.m. in order to get one. I got on this morning, and I'm just trying to decide. I think I'm going to go for a cold grey 5 and do some of the limbs and things on the head. Yeah, I woke up early. The site opens at 6 a.m, so I had a look and there was nothing this morning available, no new availabilities of tests. And but about 6:30 a test appeared and it was a cancellation for 8 o'clock this morning. It's like, my goodness. And it got snapped up by somebody. I was like, wow. But he needs one between 10 and 2, his instructors asked him for. He can book any test at any time in June onwards, between 10 and 2. And his instructor will then swap it with someone who needs a cancellation and give him a later date. So, but I'm gonna keep trying. Apparently Monday mornings is the best time to do it, but I just thought I'd just keep looking all the time in case something just happened to crop up, you know. But it's different to when I learnt the instructor would book the tests. But things change in, how long is it since I learnt to drive? About 20 years. Things change. But I was sort of talking to him about driving and driving our car. To put him on our insurance is going to cost us £1,000 a year. Yeah. And I said to him, it probably will be worth it because it means he can take me places when his dad isn't feeling up for it. If his dad's not feeling very well, he can drive instead. That sort of thing. And if his dad finds it difficult to be ready quickly because of his IBS, so it means that, say, we had an incident where his brother fell asleep on the train, and because he was taking some meds which made him really sleepy, and he needed picking up from a station. In the end, I had to call him a taxi, which was fine. My husband had the car at work, so it didn't work. But had my son been around, he could have potentially picked him up. If he, you know, obviously it's going to be shown. I've decided that it's probably not worth him getting. I can use the black for the eyes. Getting a car at the moment while he's a student, because he doesn't want to drive to uni because you have to pay a parking permit and there's never any spaces. So he isn't really very keen on that idea. So there we go. Should we do this one? So I'm going to go red. I'm going to go ladybird, but you'll see what I'm doing. Dark red first. I'm going to do similar to this one with the body, but miss out the dots. You'll see. So probably for this year, while he's still at uni, it's not worth him getting a car. So we could put him on our insurance. But yeah, it's tricky because it'd probably be cheaper for him to buy a really rubbish car and then insure that than for us to put him on ours. But I just don't know, because our car isn't exactly amazing. It's quite old. It's also automatic, which he's quite happy about. He wanted to learn in an automatic, but they don't really do that. But it's useful to have manual on your license, just in case. This is deep red. So anyway, I've been sort of thinking it through as to what the best solution is, really. Some people buy a sort of temporary insurance to have their kids put on theirs month by month, and it's a bit cheaper. But I thought maybe it would just be worth having him on there for the year. But yeah, it's expensive. He can buy his own L plates. You have to put learner plates on. I wonder where he'll get them from. The shop that used to sell them in our town has closed down. Oh, problems. We'll find some. Now, pale geranium lake. So yeah, we'll have a think. And also, you know, I said he ought to pay something towards the insurance, but how much? Because his brother can't drive, isn't allowed to. And so we can't give him the same opportunity. So is that fair? Not really. So, hard. But, yeah, I have a chat to my other son about it. See what he thinks about it. And her husband was like, oh, we'll just pay to insure him. And I was like, yeah, but we need to think about the fairness of it. But we did say that I was thinking, you know, if we are paying for his insurance, he will have to muck in and do driving. This is black, you know, as a favour. I'm just going to fill these in quite a dark black. And it's hard. It's particularly hard when you have twins, I think, because you want to treat them the same, as similarly as you can, you know. But they have different needs, just like any siblings. But I know being treated identically growing up with my twin sister made things a little bit difficult as we got older, when we did have different needs and we weren't treated the same, you know. Yeah. I felt a little bit... Basically, my sister got pregnant and my parents helped her out financially a little bit and said that was fair because she was on her own and I moved out. I'd already moved out to live with my now husband, and they were like, well, it's your fault because she was lonely that she got pregnant. So this is cold grey 6. But you know, she did need help, but I felt at the time it wasn't very fair. But now I'm over it, you know. It's fine. I can see why they had that point of view. And yeah, she was lonely, and she, you know, she did have to suddenly pay for everything all on her own. And I'm lucky, I'm very happy, you know. So is interesting is family life. I think there's often sibling rivalry and jealousy. I think it's natural in a way for siblings to have a bit of rivalry. I think that's sort of almost instinctive. You know, you look at birds and the big ones might push the little ones out of the nest, that sort of thing. Or cubs, bear cubs fighting each other, although they sort of play fight, it sort of gives them skills for later survival of the fittest, I guess. So I think there's a sort of natural rivalry, excuse me, going on. I'm going to make that a bit lighter in the middle, I think. So I think that happens. So yes, so you know, a lot of years have passed and it's fine, you know, but I do think of things like that when I'm, you know, considering what to do for my children. I don't want them to feel left out or jealous or anything like that, you know. I'm going to use the cold grey 3, but then you try and do your best and you don't always succeed. For example, I've got twins. I was a twin, as I just said. I hated being dressed the same as my sister. Being brought up in the 70s, a lot of sisters would dress the same as each other anyway, even if they weren't twins, because it was thought to be cute, endearing, and etc. And I absolutely hated it. So I vowed that I would never dress my boys the same. Then, when they were born, this is black for the eyes, I bought a selection of baby grows. Some were the same as each other. And I tried to always put the boys in different ones, so they were white though, but you know. I'm going to do a little triangle of red. I'm going to use the dark red to start with. It's not a triangle, but anyway. And so I tried to dress them differently. And the very first time we had a little family get together, deep red, because everyone wanted to see them. And I accidentally dressed them the same. I don't know if people noticed. I did. And then as they got older, they used to ask me if they could be dressed the same because they liked it and they wanted to confuse people. Whereas I absolutely hated people not knowing me and my sister apart. But my boys looked nothing like each other. But people still couldn't tell them apart and they just thought it was hilarious. There we go. There's our first little page. That was so much fun. I'm wondering whether to use my white pen to put a bit of shine, but I only want to put it on the ladybird. Maybe the beetle needs it too. I've got some new white pens to play with, which I was sent. I'm excited to use, but I haven't brought them through here yet. There we go. There they are. Little insects. Right. Well, there is that. I am definitely going to be making some videos from this book in the future. How many I can't say. It does partly depend on their popularity. Also, what else I'm doing. I'm trying to fit a lot in. I'm really hoping over the summer I get more time to do a bit more and get a bit more ahead with things, because I have felt a bit over the last few months I've just been rushed and chasing my own tail, trying to just keep up with everything. And I'm at a stage now where I feel like, you know, my one son's going to be on holiday for months, although he'll be having driving lessons. That won't impact me. My other son is going to be finishing very soon his second year of uni, and then he'll be going to work. So I will have time in the day, I think, to do more. I'm excited. So anyway, this is me for today. Well, for now. There might be more video. I don't know what time this video is going out. But anyway, thank you very much to Becky. It is an adorable book. I've really enjoyed colouring the first two pictures. Thank you for watching. If you want to buy a copy, my affiliate link is in the description. If you use that link, I get a little bit of commission but it costs you no more money to buy the book. It is only an Amazon link. I assume the book's only available on Amazon as it's Amazon printed. So it's an Amazon link. I don't know if Gabi Wolf does any Etsy books. But anyway, the Amazon links are in the description. Thank you for watching and happy colouring.